Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the King, and welcome back to the channel. Today we have some exciting news for you guys. We just received the developer Q&A, and in this we got a lot of information as we always do. So in today's video, we're going to be covering all of that. Keep in mind there will be codes for the Fruitcake Charm on this video, and if you guys don't get a chance to get them right now, we'll be live on Twitch giving away codes for PC and console. So make sure you guys come on out and please consider subscribing down below. We're literally 2,000 subs off 100,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me if you click that subscribe button. Let's jump on in to the news that we received today. First and foremost, probably the biggest thing of them all is that we've seen images, or gameplay I should say, of the clown rework. They didn't go much into detail on what it could be, but in the background what you're seeing right now is clown gameplay. And as you can see, first initially he tosses a bottle, the smoke goes, and then the smoke expands after a while, lasts for a set amount of duration, and then it disappears. And what happens is that the smoke is no longer the same color. The smoke is now a yellowish color, orange yellowish color. We don't really know what that means, and they left it to us to speculate what exactly that means. So we're gonna have to wait and figure out exactly what that means, but who really knows? I also want to point out the fact that on the right hand side you can see a Lunar New Year generator, so it is confirmed that we are going to be getting the Lunar New Year event coming on in. So next mid-chapter patch is probably when we're going to be seeing this clown rework, and we're going to be seeing this Lunar New Year event. Now it got me thinking, and I'm sure it has a lot of you guys thinking, what exactly does this mean? Again, we don't really know, but we also know that the clown received an update that was pretty secretive. They didn't really announce it, and they spoke about it on today's stream, where one of his add-ons has been changed to confetti. So maybe for the different types of add-ons, we're going to be seeing different status effects, and they all do different kind of things. Some of them might damage the survivors, some of them might slow them down, some of them might make them not able to work on any generators, some of them might make them completely blind. We don't really know. We're gonna have to wait and see, but it makes sense that the clown is gonna have different tonics rather than the same one that he always throws every single time that's effective, because if he's a chemist or whatever he is, he'll be able to create different types of potions to throw on his survivors. So, makes sense to me. Again, we're going to have to wait and see what these clown changes are, but until then, this is what we have. Pretty exciting stuff. They also mentioned some of the new killers that are going to be getting changes, and we have quite a big list. We don't have ETAs again on when this is going to be coming on out, but they said after the clown, the next killer that's going to be getting a major rework, which isn't so major for this killer specifically, is the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon is going to be getting changes to his numbers specifically, so maybe how fast he goes into portals, how much portals he has, things like that. And on top of that, he's also going to be getting some add-on changes. Not a lot, just a few as they put it, so we'll have to wait and see what that entails. They also said that the Wraith will be getting some changes, very fine tweak changes as well, so hopefully we can see add-ons and things like that change. And the only thing that they gave us was true invisibility. And I mean, we already kind of know what that is. We won't see the Wraith at all. Normally when you look at the Wraith, you can see the outline of him just, you know, invisible, and you can still kind of see him. Now, if this is true, we won't be seeing the Wraith whatsoever. That is pretty crazy, especially for the newer players. That's going to be really, really awesome to see how that works. So you're just literally going to be chased by an invisible killer. It makes sense for the Wraith, and it might buff him up to be way stronger than he already is, so you can actually use stealth to your advantage, and combining that with hopefully some new add-ons that make it so maybe you don't make any flares when you're coming out of your power. How cool and impressive would that be? So we'll have to wait and see for that. And the final bit of information that we got about killer reworks is that the Huntress is going to be getting something. The Huntress is going to be getting her add-ons changed. Thank God. We're finally going to see Iridescent and Flower Babushka and all of these things get changed, adjusted, and suited for 2020 or 2021 gameplay, I should really say, which is really awesome. No longer will we have to deal with Airy Head, and we're also going to be getting another ultra rare for her, so I'm excited to see what that ultra rare may be. We might start with something like 10 hatchets. I don't know, so it could be something crazy. I honestly could see them taking Infantry Belt and making that into an ultra rare, or Flower Babushka and making that into an ultra rare. We'll again have to wait and see what they decide to do, but until then, that is what we're left to speculate with, so maybe in the future, we'll make some more videos talking about some cool changes that we could see. Next on the list, they said that obviously this chapter has a lot more bugs than normal. You know, it's a little bit excessive, the amount of bugs that this chapter has, and they're aware of it. They're working very hard on creating a patch for that. And for sticking with them, they're going to be giving us 300,000 extra blood points if we log in today. So if you guys open up DBD right now, log on in, you'll get 300,000 blood points. I don't want to talk too much about this, but I do want to give my 2 cents on it because recently I've seen a lot of people being on the boat of this chapter is incomplete. Let's not buy this chapter. Let's not buy cosmetics. Let's not play the game. And to that, I raise the point of, well, do whatever you think is right. If you feel like this chapter is incomplete and you don't want to support it, you don't need to. You don't need to spend a dime of your money buying this chapter. You can even use shards because it's an original chapter and buy it when you think it's necessary. I, for one, am going to continue to play. I think the twins are really fun. I think the bugs are, annoying, but I understand. We're going through a pandemic. They're working on something that's something that we've never seen before. 2 different killers. Every single team has like all gears turning for this. It's not easy to work from home, especially when you're not next to your peers to cross-reference these things. And with so much other things that are going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about, it could be really hard on their end to patch some things up. I do, however, hope that, they get these hot patches out quickly to us and we can actually enjoy these killers a little bit more. So again, I raise the point of doing what you think is the best to your integrity. If you don't feel like this chapter is something that's worth your money now, don't buy it. If you think it is and you want to have fun and you want to do your thing, go for it. But always open up your perspective just a little bit so you can see how it is on everyone's side. So let's continue to move on and talk about some more stuff. One of the questions in the Q&A was, are there going to be any steps to reduce the grind? This is something that we've heard about a lot. They spoke about this in the past and they said ideas are being worked, but there's nothing that they can talk about now. They previously said that they fiddled with the idea of removing perk tiers. They thought about doing certain things which they already have, such as incorporating more ways to getting blood points, changing how perks work so tier 1 perks would actually be useful, etc. So maybe towards the future we'll be seeing something. The next question on the list was, will D-Strike get a rework or change? And they said they want to fix the more abusive side and offensive side of things. They said that there's certain players that only think this is an anti-tunneling perk, or some people that use it strictly offensively. Some of the better players, including myself, would just, jump on into a locker when your D-Strike is about to run out to make sure you get it to work. So those are the things that they're going to be looking on into and fixing. They also said that a lot of people don't know how far D-Strike has come from where it used to be, which is true. Back in the days, everybody could use D-Strike. As the killer was picking you up, you wouldn't even need to be on a hook. So it was pretty crazy. They then go ahead to talk about custom games and features in custom games. This is something that we spoke about that the game really needs, and I think a lot of people would be more driven to play custom games. And they said they're open to the ideas. There's so much that they can do with custom games. However, the player base of people that are playing custom games is very small, so they want to be careful where they're dedicating their time, because if they work on something huge and put in a big feature and not too much people use it, it would essentially be a waste of time. Hopefully, though, we do see some small things such as, being able to select tiles that you want to use or things like that. Just some cool custom game options rather than custom game modes that can benefit some of the more competitive side of things and to tournaments. So again, we'll have to wait and see. The next question was, will they fix FPS drop? And they said that that is a very broad question, but there are certain things that do cause more of an FPS drop than other things, and those things are being looked in internally. And yes, those are going to be addressed, such as opening a chest or new status effects on console. Those are the things that they're going to be looking into and trying to fix. It's not necessarily just putting something that will automatically fix it. The next question on the list was, basically, in short, why hasn't the meta changed, and you know, why aren't they trying to make perks to change the meta? And they gave a really good answer to this. And the answer that they gave to this was that they do change meta perks, and they have in the past, such as Ruin when they changed that, Metal of Man, etc. There has been changes when needed. However, when putting out new chapters, they don't put out perks for the sake of just putting out a meta perk, or you know, changing a perk just because it is the meta. You know, they said that sometimes you'll see the same 4 perks being used a lot, and that's because people think that this is the best strategy. And what they like to do with the new perks is try to make it so that you can have synergy with other perks to enhance your gameplay and things like that. So they never will intentionally put in or remove a meta-inducing perk, because if they do, you would just rinse and repeat the cycle. A new meta will be created, and so on and so forth. They also said that currently there's a lot of people running Hex, Ruin, and Undying. It's still a little bit too early to know how much, but the stats are showing that there are a lot of people using this. It's not crazy amounts, but it's pretty common. So it's a little bit too early, but they are going to be looking into it, and if anything, Undying would be receiving some changes to its future. That opens up another discussion on how they would change Undying. We'll have to wait and see. The next question was, are they going to plan on making the Rift easier? They said they're looking into it to make it a little bit better and different ways of earning tiers, but nothing yet. That'll be pretty awesome, because I know, according to a lot of their Instagram statistics, when you can vote on polls, a lot of people are saying they're not getting the cosmetics. And these are some of the cosmetics that are really easy to earn if you play a decent amount of time in DBD, maybe 3, 4, 5 games, and people are not earning them. So they'll be looking into that. They asked about the Blight POV change and if this is still going to happen, and they said yes. They raised it up and pulled it back, so it will be really, really good now. It's not 100% done, but it will be there soon rather than later. They said the reason that it's been taking so long and they just can't move the camera up is because they have to rebuild the entire animation. And the animation team has been a little bit busy working on, you know, 2 killers. So now they're getting around to doing it, and we will be seeing that sooner rather than later. Next question was, will the map RNG be improved, specifically on dead zones? And they said yes, they are going to be incorporating the formula that they did on Springwood onto the other maps on how pallets work and tiles work. The way it currently works in the game, long story short, is that there's only a certain amount of pallets that can spawn on a map. And because it is, sometimes all the pallets are on one side and you have these big chunks of dead zones because you can't really have more pallets. They said that Springwood, they use a different formula for that, and people just thought they reworked the map, which they did, but that was 2 separate things. The reworking of the map and the actual placement of pallets and things like that were 2 different systems, and that system is going to be implemented onto the other stuff. The next question was, will Victor animation for lockers be coming out soon? And they said that it's coming up in an upcoming patch, so that's pretty awesome. The next question was, will new maps be coming out anytime soon? And they said soon TM. They was asked about stats tracker, and they said it would be really nice to have in a game, but it's not on their priority list, but they would love to see this coming on in, so hopefully we see that in the future. The next question was, will they rework all of the offerings? And they said no, they won't be reworking all of the offerings. However, some of this will be reworked, the ones that are not specifically used, and this will come out as a set in the future. So we can expect one day down the line to get a rework of some of the offerings that are not been used. Next on the list are Freddy balance changes. Here's a big one. And they were saying, will Freddy receive any balance changes? And they said, yes, Freddy update is in the works. Freddy has been pretty far up on the stats list, so there's something coming for Freddy. So Freddy is going to be getting a nerf, my friends, to be a lot more balanced, which could be a good thing. Guy does have some pretty long arms. We'll see what they end up doing. They asked or answered my question, and my question essentially was, will we be getting key and more reworks? If so, can we have an ETA or any pictures, progression, anything like that? They said, yes, keys and more changes are coming, but no ETA. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is pretty much all of the spicy Q&A questions that were in this. Make sure you guys log on in to get your extra blood points, 300,000 blood points. Get it really easily. What are you most excited for about all this? There's been a lot of this stuff going on. We got clown changes, Huntress changes, Demogorgon changes, Wraith changes, Freddy changes. So much going on. Future looks bright. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you guys come on over to Twitch. Try to get that fruitcake charm. Congratulations if you did get it. If you didn't, there'll be a lot more opportunities to try to get one. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe down below. As I said, we're so close to 100,000 subscribers. Please, it would make my 2020 if you did subscribe down below. With that being said, everyone, I'm the King. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fall.